Okay, out of classwork, week 1. This is going to be Wednesday. And again, these are all review questions. So we're going to go ahead and look at this first problem. If you have the coordinates 3, 4, -5, +4, and -5, -1, what is the missing coordinate needed to make a rectangle? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot 3, 4. Remember, these are going to be to positive on the x-axis. These are going to be positives on the y-axis, and the negatives are down here. So any number is always going to be x to y, x, y. So first one is going to be +3 of the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, and then a +4. So I need to again go towards the positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my first plot point. I'm going to go ahead and always good practice to actually place my coordinates on the coordinate plane. My next one's -5, 4. Again, always x, then y. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go to -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's going to be a +4. So again, positive is always going to be in this quadrant, or a negative positive is going to be in this quadrant, quadrant 2. I'm going to go ahead and move up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and list those coordinates. -5, +4. And my last coordinates are -5, -1. Again, -5, this is x then y, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to actually take me down into quadrant 3 that is negative. Okay, -5, then -1. Okay, now I have, forgot to list that on there, -5, -1. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to form a rectangle. Okay, now I know in order for me to form a rectangle, these two guys have to intersect. Okay, and then I need to figure out what are the coordinates of this. So again, x, then y. If I look at this, my x value, 1, 2, 3. My x value is going to be 3. And then my y value, I'm going towards the negative or down on the coordinate grid. So it's going to be -1. So the answer for that is 3, -1. What quadrant is this point in? Just as a reminder, quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. This quadrant is in, or this point is in quadrant 4. Go ahead, let's move over to my next problem. Oh yay, we have another mean, median, and mode problem. As a reminder, mean is the average, median's the middle, mode is the number you see the most. As I told you guys on the previous video, first thing I always want to do, strongly suggest, put these guys in numerical order. Least to greatest. 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, and 5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have done that correctly. Okay, let's start with median. Median's the mental number, and just as I said in the previous video, I don't have an exact middle. So if I were to count in, I have 2 numbers in the middle. Anytime that happens, I add them and divide by 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Divided by 2 equals 3. My median is going to equal 3. Okay, mode. Mode is the number I see the most. Now, looking at my set right here, I actually have 2 modes. So again, now we call that bimodal. Bi means 2. B-I, modal. Okay. But you want to definitely list both of those. I have a value of 2 and a value of 4. Mode 2, 4. And then the last thing is my mean. To find the mean, add them up and divide by the total data points. So I know my total data points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data points. So I'm going to divide by 6. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 2 is 5. Plus 4 is 9. Plus 4 is 13, plus 5 is 18. Oh, that gave me a nice round number. So I'm going to take 18 and I need to divide that up into 6 parts. Again, the 6 I got from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data points. 18 divided by 6 is also 3. So my mean is going to be 3. Put a nice box there so that my teacher will be able to see what I was wanting to do. Okay, if x equals 2, what is the value of 7 times x plus 4 times 2 minus 3x? So this is an evaluation. We're going to go ahead and evaluate this expression, and it's an expression because I don't see any equal sign. other than over here, they're telling me the value of x. So I'm going to go in and use, anywhere I see x, I'm going to place a 2. So I have 7, 2 plus 4, times 2, minus 3 times 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and knock out my parentheses because I've got to remember my PEMDAS. Okay, 7 times 6 times 2 minus 3 times 2. Now I'm going to solve left to right with multiplication. 7 times 6 is 42 times 2. And I'm going to take it slow and make sure I get all the steps there. So I went ahead and combined these two. Now I'm going to combine that and subtract. 42 times 2 is 84. Oh, goodness. Y'all will learn I should never be writing with mechanical pencils. I'm too rough on them. Minus 3 times 2, which is 6. 84 minus 6 is 78, if I borrow correctly. Yep, 78. So the value is 78 if x is equal to 2. Okay, evaluate for B. Yay, this is algebra. It makes me so excited. This is actually what we call a two-step equation because they're 2 steps. First step, or first thing I should do, always box the variable, and if there's a coefficient there, grab that guy too, because this is the last thing I want to touch. Okay, I need to get rid of this minus 14. In order to get rid of minus 14, I need to do the inverse of subtract 14, which is to add 14. And negative 14 and 14, they're additive inverses, and they're going to create a sum of 0. So they're going to cancel each other out. I'm going to add 14 on the right, because anything I do on the left must also happen on the right. Okay, so dropping down, I'm left with 7b equals 28 plus 14, which is 42. Again, this is really nice because we don't have any decimals. We're giving us a lot of whole numbers. 7b equals 42. You could probably use number sense to solve that, but I'm going to use my steps because math won't always be this easy, and you need to have these steps ingrained in your brain. Okay, I need to separate 7 and b. And in order to do that, this 7 and b, when the coefficient is right next to a variable, that means multiply. So I'm going to do the inverse of multiply, which is to divide. By 7, 7 over 7 equals 1, which just leaves me with 1b, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to divide 42 by 7, and when I do that, I'm going to get a value of b is equal to 6. And there's my box.